Greetings and salutations, DMs, GMs, referees, judges, game operations directors, and all other varieties of storytellers. This is your DM, Scott, and it's time for another DM Quick Tip.
It's things to not do when you're running Deities. This week on DM Quick Tips. So here's a few things to keep in mind when running Deities in your Dungeons & Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games. Deities are powerful creatures. I know, right? Everybody knows that. But as such, they should never be direct adversaries to your PCs. This puts your adventuring party up against an unbeatable opponent. And if the opponent is beatable, well, you're doing gods all wrong. Deities are gods. Their power level should be so far above the power level of your PCs that no matter what level they've attained, they are almost unreachable as far as combat goes. For a deity, a mere wave of their hand should dispose of even the most seasoned and leveled adventuring parties you can throw at them. Having your PCs face a deity and getting annihilated sucks the fun out of the game and can begin to develop disinterest among your players. On the other hand, having your PCs face that god and beat it cheapens the role of the gods in your campaign. And honestly, in my opinion, it's a bit silly. In a campaign, your PC should be put up against the minions of a god, but never the gods themselves. Certainly, it's acceptable to throw more powerful adversaries at your player characters as they level up, perhaps going from your cultist to a high-ranking leader within that particular god's cult or religion. Deities are very knowledgeable. However, that should not translate to omniscience. Avoid having this god know everything about your party. They shouldn't know all the spells that your spellcasters know, have knowledge of all the magic items your party carries, know their plans, their loved ones, etc. Again, this sucks the fun out of the game, and when that happens, you risk losing players. I cannot stress this enough. So, say your party is going up against some clerics of an evil cult. Don't have your god notify them of what the party is doing. Think of it like this. Say you're selling Tesla automobiles. You're one of those folks that works at a dealership. Maybe you're selling them, cleaning the floors, doing the accounting, whatever. How easy do you suppose it would be for you to get Elon Musk on the telephone? Probably not very easy. He's a busy guy. What are the chances of Elon Musk calling you? Pretty slim, I'd wager. This is how your god would operate. They would operate similarly to a CEO of a major corporation. They're handling the bigger stuff, while their people, so to speak, are handling all the smaller things. The god is the CEO, for lack of a better term, for a particular faith. If you take this approach, it puts the good guys and the bad guys kind of on an equal footing. It is unlikely that your adventuring party is going to be contacted frequently by whatever gods they worship, and the same is true for the bad guys. This is not to say that over the course of a campaign, whoever your big bad is would not learn the tactics and maybe some of the spells that the adventuring party employs. This, after all, is perfectly reasonable. We equated our deity to a CEO. Deities are leaders. They're the guys and gals in charge. They're sitting in the big office with a view and the fancy desk. Your deities will have those low-level minions. These are the guys and gals selling the automobiles at the Tesla dealerships. But deities are very powerful, and it's not uncommon for them to enslave or attract other powerful beings to their servitude. These beings are less powerful, of course, than the deities, but may be extremely powerful adversaries to an adventuring party hoping to foil some major plot of this wicked deity. Deities may very easily have vast armies at their disposal, but you don't want to use these vast armies, at least not right away. Throwing a massive army against a band of PCs is silly unless this is the big battle scene at the end where the armies of good clash on the battlefield against the armies of evil. If this is the case, then go for it. But make sure your party has the opportunity to go head-to-head with the big bad. Also make sure that the big bad is not the god themselves. You can run into the same problem as a DM with a deity that you can with an NPC. It's easy to fall into the trap of using a deity to bail the party out. This sidelines the party and relegates them to bit parts in the campaign. The PC should always be the heroes. This can very easily happen with the all-powerful NPC as well. Deities should always be the bad guys and never be allies of the party. Part of the enjoyment in playing D&D and other tabletop role-playing games is overcoming challenges, solving puzzles, finding creative solutions around obstacles, and having a good old-fashioned knockdown drag out and coming out on top. Never lose sight of this as a DM. Deities are rare. Sure, they're everywhere, and in a fantasy world, we all know they're around, but it's not like you walk down the street and bump into one, right? Right. Having a deity pop up in your campaign and interact with the characters or whoever just doesn't make a lot of sense, and here's why. Ask yourself this question. Does a deity have time to pop into the prime material plane to interact with a bunch of mortals? If the answer is yes, really give it some thought. Why would they need to? And why would they have the time to? If they have the time for such things, then, well, why do they need their clerics? Realistically speaking, your deities will not have the time to do such things. That's what they have minions for. Remember, they're the CEOs. They're handling the big stuff. They have low-level minions. These minions have supervisors. There's middle management, administration, and a number of other individuals in the prime material plane that are able to handle such things for this deity so they can do, well, deity stuff. Deities are special. They're very exotic beings that your average people just don't see. So having deities and their avatars appear routinely in your campaign takes the exotic out of them and shoehorns them into the mundane. And deities should never be mundane. Now, there are many ways in which you can run deities, and this is just one way. We'll see you next time in the dojo.